Hey guys, the Common Man here. So in my last video, the shadows were kind of out of control. I moved locations. I'm hoping it's a little bit better, but you can see we're still working with some shadowing here. I got big windows up next to me. This is kind of the only good spot to shoot these videos. Anyway, I finally have a knife that I have wanted since the day that I saw it. Online, obviously. I saw pictures of it, and at the time when it first came out, it was just a little too pricey for me. Couldn't quite afford it, and that's still the case. So I went on the secondhand market, and I've had this for a couple of months now, but I went on the secondhand market and I found this guy for a really good price. It is in excellent condition. You can see it's starting to patina here, but really good condition. So what is this? This is the Jack Wolf Gunslinger, and this thing is awesome. It is every bit as awesome as I thought it was going to be getting it in hand. I was afraid it was one of those knives that the pictures, it just looked incredible, and the idea of it maybe was a little bit better than the actual knife itself, but no. This is one of those knives, and it doesn't happen for me that often, when you get it out of the packaging and you give it that first initial deployment, and it just gives you that like warm and fuzzy feeling, like, yeah, like this is everything I wanted it to be. That's the case here. This thing is so sweet. Let's go ahead and just get the packaging knocked out, because I really love Jack Wolf Knives packaging. You can see it's a modern design, or a modern interpretation on a timeless design, and I would say absolutely that is a perfect way to summarize this particular knife design. You got that nice gun stock handle with a clip point. You've got a cool little fuller here. It's just such a classic design with very modern design cues. So we'll get this opened up, because again, I do want to show you this packaging. I love it so much. I've had a Jack Wolf in the past. I had a Big Bro Jack, and I really liked it. The slip joint was very cool. A little too crisp in the walk and talk for me, which might sound a little weird, but I like a little bit more subdued walk and talk. But the knife itself was incredible. Very good quality. You can see Gunslinger Jack, that really cool wolf design with the revolver on there, which is super sweet, because I absolutely love my Smith & Wesson Model 66, which is an excellent revolver. Let's see. You got your Gunslinger little coin there. You can see it's not really a coin. It's kind of a piece of like a plastic cardboard, but that's all right. You get an excellent microfiber here. Very big microfiber, actually, and really soft packaging. You can see a nice piece of foam down in there, another sticker, and I think that's it. We're not going to go ahead and dump this out, but you can see, you get a good idea for the packaging. Very cool, very well done. And one thing I wanted to check was the blade material, because I'm 99% sure I know what the blade material is on this. I just want to confirm, and I thought there was a card in here. I don't think so. Let me check the knife. I think, yeah, okay, there it is, S90B. Okay, that's what I thought. Anyway, we'll go into that in a second. So the knife itself. So obviously, just to kind of summarize the design, like I said, it's a very traditional knife. The gun stock handle design is something that's been out for a long time in traditional knives. Usually you see it in slip joints. This, of course, you can see, though, is a bolster lock or a frame lock. Basically a mix between like a frame lock and a liner lock, but you can see it just incorporates the bolster there. Very cool. The blade is exceptionally thin behind the edge. It came razor sharp, very fine tip there, kind of classic clip point characteristic. Does have nice swedge cut out on either side of the top of that edge there. Long pole fuller on both sides. Not totally necessary with this particular knife, but it does give you an additional method of deployment, which we'll talk about in a little bit. Nice jimping up at the top of the blade. Edges are fairly sharp, but not extremely sharp. These edges are they appear sharp, but they are actually knocked down quite nicely, but it gives that kind of sharp, angular, very modern look. As far as the scales go, you can see titanium actually runs the full length of the scale, so it kind of acts as a liner, and then you do have these green micarta inlays with the hardware, and it just looks exceptional. Not a pinned design like you would typically see with a traditional knife. This has a modern screwed together construction. This beautiful bronze. I believe that's a titanium backspacer. I'm quite sure that's a titanium backspacer, and also this bronze titanium pocket clip. You can see excellent sharpening choil there, and it's very cool. Usually sharpening choils are just kind of a rounded off little, it looks like they put a little cutting bit and just kind of dipped it in there just to give you that little hook. This is not that. This is actually, it's kind of a part of the design. You can see it's got that angular, kind of triangular sharpening choil. It just looks excellent. It's not going to interfere at all with that plunge grind because it gives you a lot of life left to sharpen this knife. You can see you can go up quite a ways before you get into that grind. Everything just matches up so nicely. The bottom of this scale flows directly into the bottom of the blade there before you hit the edge. Same with the top. Very nice lines, very consistent. And then what's very cool is the back spine, the backbone of this knife is not just straight across. It's got this little curvature in there, which just adds so much to the looks. It's just such a good knife. As far as ergonomics, I mean, it's just like, it really melts in your hand. It doesn't necessarily look like it would be the most ergonomic knife in the world, but it is so comfortable. Both your forefinger and your middle finger fit just below this little curve, and then your other two fingers rest perfectly there. What's cool about the relatively straight design on the handle is that you can kind of choke back, but you can also choke up just a little bit if you really want to. Although this is kind of a, being a traditional knife, probably not going to be a hard use knife for most, so it's just going to be cutting threads, cutting paper, packages open maybe. So I would say most people are not going to use this for like a hard use application. But if you wanted to, very ergonomic, very comfortable, and that pocket clip doesn't interfere with the grip at all. Really, really nice. You can see, I mean, all of the lines are just so clean. All of the machining is so clean. All of the edges, it's nice, like I said, nice and angular, but nothing is awkwardly sharp. Everything has been just softened perfectly. And it's just to very high tolerances. Everything matches up so nice. And you can see this, even this titanium back spacer. It's not a perfect continuous surface necessarily. They actually chamfered these edges just slightly, so you can see there's a clear definition between the liner to the back spacer and again to the other liner, and that continues all the way around. It just looks so good. As far as the construction goes, as far as I can tell, there's going to be obviously the pivot screw here. I haven't taken this apart. I would like to in the future, but you can see a couple of screws that hold the liners on, and then I want to say once you take these liners off, there's probably going to be inset screws down in there holding the two scales together, and probably a screw coming from the back end of this scale. I don't know. At some point I'll take this apart and I will figure out exactly how it's constructed, but it's pretty, you can see it's pretty, everything's very discreet. They kind of went with the minimal hardware, but enough to make it look modern, enough to give it that kind of, I guess, untraditional look. It's just exceptional. And then you can see also the lock bar has a lock bar insert there. Very cool, modern touch. Action is perfect. It's so beautiful. It's so crisp, so smooth. It drops shut so nicely, just so smooth. And you can see, I mean, watch as I deploy there or disengage. It's like a guillotine. I mean, it drops so fast and so smooth. You got to have your finger in the right spot, which you kind of have to anyway to get it to disengage. And that is probably, if there's any downside to this knife, it would be the disengagement of the lock bar. You do kind of have to dig your thumb down in there. They give you a little bit of a cutout or like a groove there to put your thumb in, but the thing is this side has no cutout whatsoever, so you really do have to dig your thumb down in there to get it to disengage. But it's whatever. I think that if they had cut this out, it would have hurt the aesthetics of the knife, so I think it was a pretty fair trade-off. As far as deployment goes, as you can see what I already did, it does have the front flipper, which you can use your thumb. Let's see if I can do that kind of front finger kind of thing. And yeah, you can. It's a little bit awkward, but you can do it. I am not a front flipper fan. My preferred method of deployment on this knife is the reverse flick, which works exceptionally well. So either one of those methods of deployment work really, really good. And again, if you are a front flipper fan, it works great with the thumb. So anyway, guys, that's that. I really enjoy this knife. I'll probably give you guys another video on this in the future after carrying it some time, because I just haven't had too many opportunities to carry it, but I really enjoy it. So if you're looking for a modern knife with a pocket clip that's got that traditional kind of look and feel, This is an exceptional option. It's just a little bit hard to find. You're having to go on the secondhand market at this point, but there are batches that pop up here and there, so keep an eye out. But anyway, would highly recommend it. So thank you for watching, guys. If you want to see more of my videos, definitely consider subscribing, and let me know what you think. Do you have these? What do you think about Jack Wolf knives? And what other knives would you like to see me review? I'd love to take some suggestions. So anyway, thank you again for watching. See you later.